So I know many of you guys who are watching this right now, it's probably going to be your first time going to prison. And most of you guys are probably scared shitless, okay? Like you're probably wondering like what the fuck is it going to be like, you know? And let me say this, okay? You have nothing to worry about unless you're a snitch or a sex offender, okay? If you're a snitch or a sex offender, then you're fucked. Now, you could ask to go to protective custody, but unfortunately for you guys, it's usually full most of the time. So, what they're going to do is that they're going to try to hide you in the general population. And in Drumheller, they call this program, right, the Phoenix program. Okay? And you know what? This program does not work at all. It doesn't. Because what's going to happen is that either people will find your name on Google, or if you're not in the news, then sometimes the guards will disclose the information to some of the gang members or the other inmates, right? And then word will spread around that you're a snitch or a sex offender. So even if you're not in the news, people will still find out. And now there's some guys who are lucky enough to slip by, right? But most of the times people get found out. People always get found out. And you know, there's many ways that inmates try to find information about you, right? Sometimes they will ask you repeatedly what your crime was. And they will make sure that your story lines up with the story that you keep telling other people, you know? That's why if you were gonna lie about your crime, you gotta get your shit straight, you know? You can't say something different because they will put it together. But you know what? Even if you're lying, people will always find out. They will usually find out if you're a fucking liar. And the one thing about many inmates, right, is that they fucking hate liars, okay? Like, lying is frowned upon, okay? No one likes a liar, especially inside prison. So don't be a fucking liar. But yeah, if you're a snitch or a sex offender, you're fucked, you know? You're gonna get shanked. You're gonna get a tuna can to your fucking skull, right? Like, one of the common ways that people beat each other is that they grab frozen tuna cans from the freezer, they put it inside a sock, and then they fucking whip people with it, you know? And usually you won't even see it coming because you'll have like 3 or 4 guys just come out of nowhere inside your cell, surround you, and then beat the crap out of you. Now there's some guys who are lucky enough to, you know, fucking tackle through these guys and make it to the hallway, right? Because if you make it to the hallway, then you're fucking safe. For a moment, you know? Because the guards will be able to see it on camera and then they have to stop it. Even though maybe some of the times the guards are the reason why people find out about your crime, right? But you know, they're legally supposed to stop it. But if you get beaten in your cell, then you know you're fucked, right? And after you get beaten, you could either do 2 things, right? Because the guards will ask you, what happened to your face? You either tell them that you fell, right? And they have to believe you. Well, they have to go with your word. Or you snitch on the fucking inmates. But if you snitch on the other inmates, then, you know, your life in prison is gonna be even worse than when you came in. Because word spreads around a lot, and even if they send you to another prison, those inmates are going to find out about what you did in that other prison that you got sent away from, and then your life is going to be shit again. So you know, there's no hiding for you unless you go to PC, right? Protective custody. So yeah, you know, if you're not a snitch and if you're not a sex offender, then you guys have nothing to worry about. Prison will be a cakewalk. Now, the only thing I hate about prison is that there's no fucking Wi-Fi, right? If there was internet, then I wouldn't mind being there, right? I would have enjoyed it. But there's no internet unless you pay a couple $1,000s for a cell phone. But you know, if you get caught with a cell phone, then you're fucked. You get your inmate score gets increased, and then you become a high risk offender, and then your chances of going to minimum are very low. In fact, sometimes they may even send you to maximum if your inmate level is high enough, right? So yeah, if you do choose to get a cell phone, don't get caught with one, okay? Don't tell people about your cell phones either, because people snitch on each other for some fucking reason, you know? And yeah, so that's another thing too. You can't trust inmates. Like there will be a lot of like anecdote stories about, you know, this and that and what you should do and how you can get out. And you know what? Don't believe everything you hear from other inmates, because usually the information that they give around is fucking wrong. The only person that you should really listen to is either your closest buddies inside prison or your parole officer. You know, they will tell you the truth, okay? Mostly your parole officer. Even though people will say that the parole officers are fucking shitty, you know, they're not. It's just that these people think they're shitty because the parole officers aren't giving them what they want, you know? But that's for another video, okay? If you guys are scared of prison, don't be scared. You have nothing to worry about. Anyways, that's all I have for today. See ya.